Cool. Hi everyone, I'm here with Randall from Catalyst Game Labs, and we're going to talk about Leviathans.
Leviathans is a miniatures game for those who have, some of you have probably been following this saga at monstersinthesky.com, which is the Leviathans website, and this is a game that's been a long time coming, but we finally sold copies here at the show, and it's going to be getting on a ship pretty soon. We hope to have a wall to the ceiling at Gen Con, and then very soon around that time it'll be available in stores as well. So the basic concept behind Leviathans is an alternate history pseudo-steampunk game. In the late 1800s, a Polish scientist isolates a fluid and you pass electricity through it, generates a levitating force. This is the time of Edison and Nikola Tesla. Humanity's ability to generate electricity is increasing exponentially. So by the time of 1910, which is the setting of the game, the wet navies of the world have become air navies of the world. Now there's a fair number of other steampunk style games out there, and a lot of times when they talk about airships, they're referring to dirigibles or zeppelins, whereas in this case, ours are 5, 10, 15,000 ton, war steel forged ships that are, trying to blow the crap out of each other. So that's kind of the setting. It's, as you can see, a very big box game that comes with an amazing amount of material that we've crammed into it. The concept here was to create a game that anyone who's walking by and who just sees this visuals and are captivated it could go ahead and play, particularly the miniatures. And so when I first started developing it, just like almost any tabletop miniatures game, I had the giant page of modifiers that helps to indicate target movement, attacker movement, range, and terrain, and all the other things. And somewhere along the way, and to be honest, I can't exactly remember where, but somewhere along the way, I figured that the combination of the bell curves of polyhedral dice can actually mimic all of those modifiers, okay? And so when you look at these colored dice that we're using, even though they're colored and they're all the same size as the D12, in reality they are, I don't know if I can grab the right dice. In reality they're just polyhedrals, D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. Now one of the biggest questions I get asked is, well, why did you color code them? Why didn't you just use polyhedrals? Well, it kind of again comes back to that person who may not actually be that much of a gamer, who may never even seen polyhedrals. I didn't want them to be stuck on, what are these funny shaped dice? How do you tell a D8 from a D10? Instead, I just color-coded them all, and that way somebody is able to simply look at their ship cards, look at the enemy ship cards, grab the appropriate dice, toss them, and be playing. For those that love their polyhedrals, you absolutely can just grab polyhedrals, do them in the colors that you want, and you're off and rocking. So the way the game works is it's a tactical miniatures game, so that you are indeed rolling an initiative for each side. Every turn, each ship is going to have a chance to move, and then it's going to have a chance to attack. Every ship card that you have has the data that you need on it. Down here in the bottom left-hand side is going to be the starting movement points, and it's literally just 1, 2 to turn, 3, and so on. Each ship has a different turning radius. Again, these are multi-thousand-ton vessels, and once you get inertia going, it's kind of hard to stop. So on the right-hand side of the card, you have the turning radius of your smallest ships. Usually only have to go forward once before they can turn. Your light cruisers usually have to go 2 before they can turn. Of course, your big beasts, your battleships, usually have to go 3 hexes before they can turn. Once movement has all occurred, you get into combat. And the way combat is resolved is, again, all you have to do is you look at your ship card. You're going to find the gun battery that you wish to fire. The gun battery is going to have 2 dice icons on it. They're going to correspond to 2 hex ranges. If it's within the first hex range band, you're going to grab the slightly better die. If it's with the longer range, you're going to grab the slightly worse die. If there's a crew slot in there, you're going to go ahead and add the crew slot die. You would then look at the target ship, and back behind the slots, there is a green arrow and a red arrow, and those are location dice. If the ship moved, then you grab that die. If it didn't move, you grab that die. So we'll go ahead and say it moved. Add those dice together. You always add the slot die. You're going to grab these in a single roll. You're going to quickly roll. You're going to add all the colors together. And then you're going to compare that to where the slot die indicated, and if it equals or exceeds the breach number, you're going to break it. And so that's kind of how combat unfolds. A lot of the different abilities, you have really long range weapons that can fire. You have different abilities like turrets that turn things around. You have bracketing fire that allows multiple weapons of the same size to shoot together. So you're decreasing the potential of damage, but increasing the potential to hit. There's a lot of great tactics like screening, where normally you just fire right through a target, but a ship might be able to spend movement points to try to stop shots from going into the side of a ship that's really been hurt. One of my favorite parts of the game is actually the aerial torpedoes, which are these little bad boys. So instead of it being just a regular shot, it's actually a complete area of denial attack. So before move happens, you go ahead and lay out your line of sight. Everybody moves, and then if there happens to be a ship in between the two locations, it's going to go ahead and try to strike it. So you can, in fact, hit your own ships, which I have done far too often. So that's kind of how it plays out. The great thing about Leviathans is similar to the other properties that Catalyst Game Labs produces, like Shadowrun and BattleTech. This is a very large, big, comprehensive universe. There's a 96-page universe booklet in here that talks about all of the factions of this 1910 alternate setting. And within the core box set, you're going to get a British and French fleets. Next year, we'll then roll out the Germans and Italian fleets while providing additional new ships for the British and the French. And then we'll go from there, you know, the Japanese and Russians and so on. So it's a big, dynamic universe. We have a lot of great plans going forward. And, you know, check it out.
Great. So will this be being expanded in specific box sets or model by model? Or?
Currently, the plan is pretty much just box sets. So we have obviously our mega, you know, kill the cow box. We then will have fleet boxes, which are about half the size, that will have the same ships for each side, but with new unique ship cards. And then we have, you know, kind of alliance boxes planned, where you'll have like the Germans and the British with 2 new ships in it. So currently the plan is pretty much to go more box oriented. And then based upon how the line's doing and obviously player feedback, then we might look at single figures, but you know, that'll be down the line.
Great. So definitely fits that, you know, our board game crowd model where, you know, you buy what you need to play. You don't
Absolutely
have to pick and choose like that.
Yep.
Great. Well, we'll look forward to this, and this will be available to the public fairly soon?
Well, the pre-order for this is going to be available at CatalystGameLabs.com and MonstersInTheSky.com within very short period, maybe just the next week or two. Okay. It's going to be at Gen Con, as I said. I hope to have a wall to the ceiling. And then I'd say maybe August or September that'll finally be in stores.
Great. Well, we look forward to seeing it. It looks really great.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much.